You are destined for greatness. Now, this may be hard to hear or believe because it may seem controversial. Because, as we know, we all have different challenges, we have different weaknesses, some strengths are less pronounced or more pronounced. And are we supposed to be great? Well, maybe we don't have enough help, maybe we don't have enough guidance. But it's very true that you are destined for greatness. My name is Leah Abramov, and I'm here to share with you amazing insight on your greatness. Stay tuned for more. Your greatness is destined. How is it that we can reach this greatness, or how can it be actually manifested in our lives? How do we see it? How do we reach it? We're going to learn some insights from our sages, and hopefully we're going to gain a better truth and guidance on how to experience and believe in our greatness and make it happen. It is said that at the origin of all personal growth lies an awareness of the greatness of man. It's written in Alei Shiur. Sure. What does that mean? At the origin of all personal growth lies an awareness of the greatness of man. Personal growth is based on the awareness of the greatness of man, which means I will grow only if I believe that I can be great. If you don't believe in yourself, if you're constantly putting yourself down, if you're constantly basing your efforts on your circumstances and basing it on outcomes. Outcomes don't belong to us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will decide if we become successful or not with our efforts. So greatness is manifested in believing in myself. I cannot experience greatness if I do not believe in myself, if I do not believe in my personal growth. In an excerpt from a letter written by the Vilna Gaon, it says, "The principal way of meriting the world to come is through guarding one's mouth, which is greater than Torah learning and mitzvot, because the mouth is the holy of holies." Great people watch the way they speak. Every single person is capable of greatness. We have to be careful what comes out of our mouth, because it's shown to us here that even more than learning Torah and even more than doing mitzvot, we need to be careful in how we speak. We need to be careful in how we talk. We know that there's educated people, even in the secular world. They know exactly what to say, walk the walk and talk the talk. However, when you get them to be very comfortable, their downtime, they talk and act the way they want to. We are expected to constantly act and talk dignified, and it starts with the way we speak. In Tana Divrei Eliyahu Rabbah, it says, Hashem said to Israel, "My beloved children, what do I ask of you? Only that you love one another, respect one another, and be in awe of each other." Sometimes we may be confused. Oh, we have to follow the Torah, we have to do mitzvot, I have to better myself in my relationship with Hashem. That is true. But Hashem says, even above that, I want number one to be your relationship with others. The way you treat other people is the way I will treat you. We have to be careful. We have to be sensitive to others. If a person wants to be treated a certain way, we have to be careful to do that. If a person wants to have certain sensitivities, then do that. Especially when we have guests, when we have relatives who have certain ways that they do things. It may annoy us. It may be a neighbor. However, I'm not here to understand people. There's so much we can understand. You're not able to understand a person until you are in their shoes. So we're actually never in someone's shoes exactly. We can't judge people. So we have to respect other people. Just like we want to be respected for our ways. Just like we want other people to be patient with our negative traits, we need to be the same way with other people. In Mishlei, it's written, "With a revealer of secrets, a bearer of tales, or a simpleton of lips, do not mingle." So great people do not mingle and make lengthy conversations with those who have a simple mouth, maybe who don't watch the way they speak. It's very, very important for us the way who we interact with on a consistent basis. Of course, when it's relatives, when it's friends, when it's neighbors that you have to talk to, but consistently having a relationship, a close relationship, and mingling with other people who have simple language or hurtful language, and empty talk, it really has to be limited. Okay. Rabbi Leibel Eger says, a human is a human and an angel is an angel. But if a human being wishes, he can be greater than an angel. You know, an angel is more like, you could think of it like a robotic state. You know, an angel is very, very big, very, very long, but it constantly does exactly what Hashem wants the angel to do. So if he's given a job, he's going to do that job. So an angel will do anything to come down to this world to do a single mitzvah. Our sages teach us that. So that means that the smallest mitzvah that I do, now we've learned that there's no such thing really as a small or big mitzvah, because we don't know the value of a mitzvah. We don't know the value of what you just did. You can think it's something small, maybe something that didn't take you a lot of time or a lot of money, but the fact that you reached out to someone and you showed you care made their world, made their day, made them feel valuable, and maybe changed their perspective on life. And that could have, trickled down to all parts in their life, the relationship they have with their children, their husband, the family dynamic, their work. So it really all depends. It really doesn't, a mitzvah doesn't have a value, meaning like one is more important than another. Just because it involves more time, money, or effort, it doesn't mean it's a bigger mitzvah. It means what it meant to the other person. We don't know. Only Hashem knows the value of a mitzvah. So we have to understand that I can do great things. And remember, as we've learned in the previous videos, do not judge how you feel when you do a mitzvah. When you are engaged in spiritual means, when you're engaged in prayer and good deeds, when you're engaged in mitzvot, don't focus on how you feel, because just because you don't feel like praying and you prayed, you may have accomplished so much. You don't know. Or maybe you feel so good about praying, maybe because you're painfully involved or emotionally involved in situations, so you're praying with kavana, with intense focus. It is very meaningful, but you can't say that it doesn't achieve much. And if an angel will do anything to come down to this world to do one simple mitzvah. The Rambam teaches that habit and character are closely interwoven. Habit becomes second nature. How many times do we set goals for ourselves where we're thinking, oh, again I have to do this, again I have to overcome this, again I have to reach this goal, and again I failed. When will I ever do it? Oh, I'm not meant to do it. My parents are like this. My background is like this. I've tried this for so many years, it didn't work. The truth is, habit makes nature. You have to act the way you want. Talk the talk, walk the walk. Even when you say en od milvado, there's nobody but Hashem. Even if you don't really necessarily right now believe it because you're so emotionally involved in the situation, maybe you're upset. The fact that you said it created so much good in the world, sent so much bracha. Or gam zulatova, all is for the good. Even if we don't feel like saying it, say it, because words create. Say it even if you don't feel it. So we don't judge spirituality on feelings. It's really, really important that we remember that. Try to do what you're doing anyway. Try to overcome difficult habits, even if it's one time. Just like a footprint on a heavy snow. When you step once, it's much easier to step over it again. Why? Because you did it once. So even if you did something 100 times, a negative trait that you don't even want to do, but one time you overcame it, what happens is you just sent your brain a message that one time you were able to do something, and it's a permanent recording. So it's always easier to do something again versus doing it the first time. In Sefer Haridim it's written, the Satan is powerless to persecute where there is peace. So we know the Satan is out to destroy us, right? Destroy the day, kill our day, meaning ruin our moods and belief in ourselves. So it is powerless unless there's peace. So even if there's arguments, it could still be peaceful. In other words, we don't seek to be right, we seek to be smart. Let's seek to be smart. It doesn't matter if you always win the argument, and it doesn't matter if you're right. All in all, you want to be smart. You want to be able to reach the problem quickly. It doesn't mean never argue. It's good to argue. It's the way we argue. But the point is to argue peacefully and reach that peace very much quicker. In Bereshis, Rabbi Hirsch says, in fact, there is only a single transgression, self-centeredness, and loves his fellow man like himself. He can fulfill his life's mission and all the mitzvot. In other words, if we are self-centered, only worrying about ourselves, our ego, our time, our reputation, me, this is self-centeredness. This is, far from our mission. Our life's mission is to look at other people, to look at other people and treat them the way I treat myself. How can we love a Jew? The Jews are commanded, love your Jew as you love yourself. How is it possible, right? That means that whatever I don't want done unto me, I shouldn't do unto others. If I don't want people to talk about me, I shouldn't talk about them. So in other words, treat other people the way you want to be treated. And this is our life's mission, to make other people, to make other people's needs, to make their respect a priority to us, even if it doesn't make sense. Okay, the Baal Shem Tov teaches that just as the flaws one sees when looking in the mirror are his own, so the flaws he sees in others are reflections of his own. If we're upset at someone, if we're upset the way they behaved, we have to see, do I act the same way? How do I see it? Maybe we are looking at a person and saying, they're so not careful with this mitzvah, whether it's kashrut, whether it's some other one. You have to ask yourself, what am I not so careful with? And it could be anything. If you're looking at the person with pitiful eyes, meaning like pitiful perspective, where a person's like, I feel so bad for this person, automatically you don't see them as negative. You're praying for them. You're rooting for their success, just like you want other people to root for your success. Overlook your negative traits. Forgive you. Tell themselves, oh, you know what? She's having a bad day. She's overwhelmed. She's stressed. She's it's like one of those days. The way I treat others is the way I will be treated by Hashem and judged by Hashem. In Beis Elokim, it's written, man, unlike other creatures, lives to perfect himself. He requires speech for that objective to be realized. So we are not creatures. We're not animals. We are a man is one who knows how to speak. And the mission is to use speech to elevate the world. When you elevate yourself, you actually elevate the world. We don't live in a vacuum. We can't say, I live my life, leave me alone. This is the way it is. We affect the world. What I do here can affect somebody in Australia. The way I make my bracha can affect somebody in a different side of the world, and we may not even realize it. But Hashem works this way, that we are in charge of opening up the treasure chest in Shemayim, and it's up to us to the way we act, the way we talk and behave does bring bracha into the world. It's written in Shmiras Halashon, Sefer Shmiras Halashon, when one restrains himself, sealing his lips from speaking negatively about his fellow, in heaven too, the prosecutor cannot open his mouth to speak negatively about him. So, as we said, great people watch the way they speak. They watch the way they talk. We have to take care of our tempers. We have to take care of our negative traits. Like when we're upset, to take that time. So, I'm not going to react right now. And of course, it's an art. It's a challenge. It's difficult based on everybody's stage and phase in life, but all in all, it is something we all want to work on. I want to leave you with a practical tip, which is an affirmation. The awareness that I'm destined for greatness is the key to my personal and consistent growth. The awareness that I'm destined for greatness is the key to my personal and consistent growth. The fact that I know I'm destined for greatness and Hashem is rooting for my success is all the more reason to believe in myself and engage in personal growth. This is taken from the Sefer, the book Master Your Words and Master Your Life. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming, Awakening Awareness of Your Greatness and Potential.